About is just to get each of the panelists talk about their own experiences with Amazon and just what impact you think it's going to have in the New Zealand market. So, do you want to kick off, Jake?
Yeah. I think it's on. Test, yeah. So I don't have any through via HealthPost. I don't have any direct experience. We don't sell on Amazon yet. It's certainly something that we are looking at. We've sold on other marketplaces, and when I used to work agency side, I helped a lot of merchants go on various marketplaces around the world. And I think from my perspective, the thing that differentiates Amazon very much from almost all other marketplaces is they will use your data against you. Ultimately, at the end of the day, they will cherry pick from those products, and they will ultimately, if they can, they will ultimately compete against you on their own marketplace. So that's the key differentiator with Amazon as I see it, and so therefore the strategies around Amazon that you will implement if you choose to go onto Amazon need to be quite different versus a lot of other marketplaces. That's the key differentiator that I see for sure.
Amazon marketplace, and you mentioned take a different approach, but what sort of approach would you be recommending in that regard?
Look, I think with any marketplace, but in particular with Amazon, any brand that is looking to sell on Amazon just as and treat it as any other channel is probably going to fail. They really need to go at it with a really hardcore and very clear strategy for the business and what the business objective is on that particular marketplace and what they're looking to achieve. So there's three primary strategies I've seen work well for businesses on both Amazon and other marketplaces. One is using it purely as an acquisition channel, so treating it as an acquisition channel. So use it to acquire. Don't repay them every time to reacquire those customers every single time. Try to convert them into direct customers. The other strategy is to scale their volumes very, very rapidly so that whether they're a manufacturer themselves, and so therefore they're getting economies of scale in manufacturing, or they're an aggregator retailer, and so therefore they get economies of scale and can put pressure on their suppliers for better deals, for better margin across all the channels they sell on. And then finally, the third really is it's an approach whereby you're acquiring, through that channel, you're acquiring customers for owned brands. So you're using the traffic coming to your aggregated brands, so the brands that already have a good following, large name brands, driving them to your effectively your store in that space to then either cross-sell or upsell them to products that you own and manufacture. So those are three strategies that can work really, really well in a marketplace environment, and you can leverage those marketplaces for specific goals.
Yeah, Amazon actually having a serious impact here.
Yeah, I think there's three core pieces to going on to any marketplace that you have to consider as a business, and that's especially true of Amazon given the nature of the way that they do business globally and the way that they've had a tradition of starting out very slowly as they have in Australia, but then they ramp pretty quickly in terms of taking over specific categories. They target specific categories that they see as weak and open to takeover, and they target those very aggressively from an acquisition perspective. So I think businesses need to think very strategically about three things. They need to think about those three strategic ways in which they would enter the marketplace first, like I said earlier. The second piece is how they're going to integrate with that marketplace. So what technology layer are they going to use to integrate? Because you need to not only have the integration piece that pushes your products to because you're not going to do it manually in most cases because it's just too time intensive and labor intensive. So you need to push your data to the website. You need to be able to optimize it as well on the way, and then you need to be able to sync back the orders and fulfillment, and then sync that information back to Amazon as well, or any marketplace. So I think there's the technical layer in the middle that you need to think about, and then there's really the final piece, which is
the.
There are. Yeah, you can integrate directly from your website or your ERP. There's a number of different ways to do it. The final piece really is the data analysis piece, and really being able to optimize based on data analysis. And then one of the things that Amazon does amazingly well that I think any business can learn from and potentially implement nowadays, that's easier to do nowadays than ever before, is dynamic price optimization. So Amazon adjusts their prices over 2.5 million prices a day. Now, most businesses can't be that dynamic with their pricing. However, with automated price monitoring services, if you can connect that back to your website via API, you can maximize your margin on some products where you don't need to overcompete, you don't need to drop the price too low. On other products, you're going to have to drop your price lower to be competitive. And so there's an element of dynamic pricing that I think they do really, really well that businesses can now, at a very low cost, start incorporating into their business.
So it all sounds bloody scary, actually. So you mentioned that there is actually stuff to get excited about. So what can we get excited about? The volume, what are we going to get excited about with Amazon as retailers, let alone consumers? I know Jay said big fan as a customer, but what can retailers get excited about?
Yeah, look, I think there's a couple of areas where businesses can win. I think if you're just another retail aggregator, you're going to really struggle, especially as more and more manufacturer brands are going direct to market, direct to consumer via Amazon and other marketplaces, especially in the Chinese marketplace. So I think that's going to be a struggle. Where I think brands can win is exclusive lines. So even if you're a retail aggregator, having exclusive lines that you're the only retailer that sells that line and Amazon doesn't even sell it, nor other retailers, and manufacturer/retailers. I think those guys, or where you can have an own brand alongside your other major brands that you aggregate with, I think that's a pretty strong strategy, and it's something that's pretty unassailable. And really, I think there's some massive opportunity for growth, because there's a lot of eyeballs on Amazon. I mean, I shop Amazon myself. I shop on a lot of major marketplaces, and I would urge every single business owner, if you don't shop on marketplaces today for whatever reason, start. It's just good competitor analysis, or it's potential channel analysis, and you need to know what that experience is like, that your customers are likely going to be talking about and comparing you with. And so it's very difficult to know how to beat them if you don't know what you're competing against. And if you see what their experience is like, there are definitely chinks in their armor. As much as I love Amazon, there are absolutely clear chinks in their armor. I think their fulfillment process it goes back to what you said, Jay, of being nameless, faceless. It's a very poor fulfillment experience. You can't, when it hits the destination country, i.e. New Zealand, you don't even have the local courier number to chase a product up to find out how far away it is. It's a black box. And so there's a lot of things that they don't do well, and I think those are the areas that you can compete on if you know what those are. I think the other thing that Amazon is they're very, very clear about the type of customer they're going after, and as a business, if you're not going after that same type of customer, then you automatically have an opportunity. And so they're going after customers that want pure price, pure convenience, they want massive range, they want all these things, but not every customer is after that. There's a lot of customers that are after an experience to go with their shopping experience, the experiential part, the support part, the relationship part. There's a lot of customers that are actually, the number of times that I've spent more, and if I'm thinking outside of Amazon, if I'm thinking even of just retail stores, there's a lot of retail stores I will go to and I will pay more for the exact same item because of the experience I have at that store and the service level that I get. So I don't think price is a motivator for every single customer. It's certainly a motivator for a lot of them, but it's not 100% true across the board, and I think that presents opportunities in its own right if you know who your target customer is and they're not Amazon's target customer.
So do we have any questions? We've got about 5 minutes left, I think. So anyone in the audience want to ask our experts anything? Yes? Sure. Go for it. You're on the spot now.
Hi guys. I don't really want to ask a question about Amazon. I'm quite interested, given you're all big online fulfillment players, what kind of pressure are you putting on your fulfillment partners to lift the game? When we come back to New Zealand and working for a small guy, I'm kind of floored by how poor some of the service levels are at the fulfillment courier kind of level. I'm quite interested just to sort of understand how you put some pressure on, what kind of services are you wanting them to deploy so that we can actually be meeting our consumers' demands.
Yeah, look, I think the marketplace is putting pressure on the courier companies. Like we as HealthPost, we have a really good, we also use Courier Post New Zealand Post, and we have a very good working relationship with them. And even when I had my own e-commerce pure play, I used Courier Post, and I had a very good relationship with them as well. So I think you have to have very open channels of communication with your courier partner, whoever that is, because ultimately they are an extension of your brand and your brand essence and your brand equity with your clients. And so therefore, if you don't have a good relationship with that partner and they don't truly understand and have empathy for your end customer, then by extension their service can be poor. And I think the market like FBA, fulfillment by Amazon, that is going to put the acid on local courier players. There is no question about that, and they're feeling it. They're talking about it. We're seeing them up their game in some of the service offering to the market. It's definitely improving because they feel the heat and they know it's coming. So they're already feeling the pressure. We don't really have to do much apart from really help them to intensely understand our business and the goals that we're trying to achieve, and make sure they put a package of services together for us that meets ultimately what we're trying to give to our customers.